We're live! Welcome to the Whine Show! Gotta get your groove on now.
Hey!
Joe refuses to dance.
I know,
He's just no fun.
Take a little joke.
He had a couple shows where some of the guests wanted to do the wave, and he was like, no, I'm not doing the wave. No. Just a party pooper. We need to get more wine into Joe. That's what it is.
There we go.
That's right. Welcome to the Whine Show, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. That's right. America, we have a problem. You know what I'm talking about. I call it the zero to Nazi effect. That's in any given conversation where there's a disagreement, especially on social media, the length of time it takes to go from zero to you're a Nazi. I will now punch you in the face and go outside and set fire to your car. Because that's how we do it in America. Anybody that was around for the last election knows this is protocol. This is just what we do. I disagree. I shall riot. Set something on fire. Whatever. Well, on our show, we have a solution. It's called wine. Yes! Beautiful, glorious wine. We will sit down together from all different walks of life, pour a great glass of wine, sip on it, and talk about everything that everybody says you're never supposed to talk about. And we're going to have a great time doing it. I'm going to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves here in a second, and they are going to give a shameless plug for whatever they want to, because that's part of their exorbitant pay package. Yes. But before we do that, I'm going to tell you about Kunza Wine from Chile. That's right. Kunza Wine from Chile is a Cabernet Sauvignon. Very smooth, a velvety smooth wine. Taste of strawberry, red fruits, a little hint of smoky goodness in the flavor. We're going to rate the wine at the end of the show, and I'm going to put that rating up on our Instagram page with information about the wine. So you will definitely want to hop on Instagram. Make sure you like and follow the Whine Show there, because that's the only place you're going to find the rating. So we'll see. Anyway, good stuff. I'm going to start pouring the wine, and we're going to get down to business. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Toni.
Oh, yeah.
Let you introduce yourselves.
My first talk show, bring it my way.
There you go.
Let's initiate the newbie, right?
Absolutely.
My name's Toni Rodriguez from Woodlands, Texas. I'm a dancing realtor. Shameless plug.
Dancing realtor.
My shameless plug is my Flexibility for Life series that will be coming out in a few weeks. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Peace.
She is a beast in the dancing thing. I'm just telling y'all guys, you need to follow her for sure.
Thank you.
Well, I don't have an Instagram. So.
Yeah.
But my name is Joseph.
Joe is actually 87. He just looks really good for his age. So.
Instagram, right? And I never have shameless plugs. So.
Oh yeah, it makes us all feel bad.
I don't need to advertise anything. So. Because you see what you get.
Oh, because
Yeah.
you're just a little joke.
I'm Little Joe. Yes.
Hey baby, ¿qué pasó?
Go ahead.
You really got 3 Mexicans on this panel.
Wow. And the show started on time.
All right.
Oh.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it did not.
It was like 15 seconds off, you know.
All right.
That's better than I think we've ever done, actually. Noah.
How's it going? So, yeah, speaking of Latino, so I guess one of my...
He's Swedish.
Yeah, apparently. So I'm actually home in Houston on winter break. I go to school at the Big H up north. I'm a grad student up at Harvard. And I guess the only thing I really have to plug is my social media for right now. At Noah E. Toledo on Instagram, Twitter. Find me on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel. Check it out. And I'm working on my thesis right now. I'll be... hopefully looking for an agent soon and publishing what I finish after May. So check that out.
Excellent.
All right, my name is Gena Smith, and my shameless plug is I work for It Works, and we are home of the skinny wrap. So if you want to get skinny, find me, Gena Smith. And now I get to work from home as well, so I'm at home with children all day, so I need to drink up a lot.
Cheers.
Yes,
I don't have children.
yes.
She has a child with special needs at home.
I do.
And cheers to...
And cheers to him,
that.
too, because he's a mess, but yes. Glad to be here.
Well,
Shout out to all moms taking care of children with special needs, including my
cheers
own.
to a great show, everybody.
Here, here.
And
Cheers.
speaking of a great show, guys, we have a really fascinating topic today to start the new year out with. This show is an unusual topic, one might say.
Absolutely. Quite unusual.
But it can go all sorts of different directions, and your comments are going to be a big part of this, because we're going to be reading these comments and we're going to be reacting to what you guys have to say. But we're talking about on today's show, from sex robots, sex dolls, to automated checkout and ordering at McDonald's. Will machines replace us? And if yes, what then? What's that going to look like? What are your thoughts on that? And literally, I mean, I very intentionally gave a pretty massive spread of topic range there, from human intimacy to mundane task. There's a full gamut there of how machines are already, right now, replacing human beings. So what's your thoughts on that? Are machines going to replace mankind? And if you think yes, then the follow-up for me is, what then? Let's pose that question right now. If all of our tasks were replaced, food was produced, our basic needs were met, all that sort of thing, and literally no human involvement was needed, what the heck would we do? And what would society look like? What would that be like? That's a very interesting question to me. So you guys chime in with this, and I'm giving my guest here time to mull this idea over, because I'm going to go back to each one of you now, and I'm going to give you a minute to bullet point your thoughts on this, and then we're going to go to the guests here on the feed, and we're going to start looking at what some of these guys have to say, and we'll start responding and take it from there. So, Toni.
As she sips her wine.
Again.
I'm just going left and right.
Yes.
Consistency. Keeping it consistent. You know.
I'm not even sure that I've formulated my opinion quite yet.
That's all right.
But I know I've been to the River Oaks Center recently. Went to the movies, and there is a robot who is the security guard there. I'm not sure if that made me feel safe, because he was charging in the alley for a while. So I was thinking, what happens if someone's trying to bug me while he's charging?
Oh,
I get it. He's a robot. I took a picture with him. It's really odd.
It's a robot.
No, he's a robot, and he is.
I've seen one of those.
He's a robot.
So this is like RoboCop.
Yeah, he is the security guard,
literally.
and he moves this quick.
Well,
so
he's getting away with my purse.
So he just has a camera that's going to show I'm being mugged. And then at that moment, I could have mugged him. Right. I took a picture with him. I'm not sure. He looked like he was sleeping, but he was charging.
Did he consent to the picture?
I'm not sure. But I was like,
did he consent to the picture?
We're in the most high-end center in the city of Houston, and he's charging. Well, he needs time to charge.
First of all, you already labeled him as he.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Oh, here we go.
Gender.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, my Prince Charming's a guy. I'm just
Let's not do that.
So come on, Little Joe. I want to hear your whole idea then.
The nickname is stuck, by the way.
Yeah.
What's that?
The nickname is stuck.
Little Joe.
Yeah, you're
we got Big Joe.
Or Old Joe.
We're talking age.
Let's go Big Joe. Let's go Big Joe.
Well, I believe they will not replace us, because there are some things that will never be done by a machine. A machine can't feel human emotions, and they can't. You got all these type of movies that come out where the robots take over the world. And I saw something funny on the internet the other day, on the interweb the other day, that said if they try to take over, just pour some hot water on them. They'll short circuit. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So no.
For our tech savvy people in the audience, we might question the validity of that argument.
I love looking at the producers' faces are genuine.
Yes, all of our tech people behind the camera here are going.
Or you hit it with a hammer, like Hillary Clinton did to all her cell phones. You can delete 33,000 emails. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you can show those machines who's boss.
Exactly.
This is why we have wine.
Your turn.
Come on, Harvard.
All right.
Harvard, bring it.
Hey, now. So the nerdy perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So we have like Zamyatin, who wrote the work We, which is the work that influenced Orwell and Huxley and all these folks to talk about, the future of like robotics and what it could do. Not just automation, but like, anyway, I'll stop with that right now.
Yeah, because you lost me.
Never mind.
Just saying. I'm a dancer, you know.
Oh,
Artistic dancer.
Let me back.
I'm just the eye candy.
Charlie Brown.
I'm an artiste. An artiste.
I'm just the eye candy
But I
here.
mean,
Don't
no,
ask me to
really,
understand
it's,
things.
It's interesting. I like to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah. I have a shit ton of books that I've read, excuse the S-bomb,
Oh, you need
about
an
the
S sign,
topic.
an S
So
sign.
I need an S-bomb sign.
See my F-bomb sign, right?
We need an S.
No, I need an S one. Yeah, I'm gonna have Chris pay me an S-bomb.
Oh man. As far as robots go, like I have researched, the sex robot thing. I've had personal experience with going to a fast food restaurant, having this
Glad he
menu.
separated those topics.
Yeah,
Right?
because
I've researched the sex robot thing, and I have a lot of experience with the McDonald's ordering.
Do what you gotta do.
A pause, a comma there would have been
Yeah.
dangerous. So.
You're not like me now.
Loads of experience with.
Very
Long story short, I have a lot to
articulate.
say, so I'm going to give it over to Gena.
Start acting like me now, Joe.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was thinking it. You said
yes,
it.
I know.
I'll just give it over to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Is
so
it
I'm
getting
going
warm
to
in here?
totally back
goodness.
this up even
Sorry.
more. And I know we're talking about robots, but I remember when everybody thought it was such a wonderful idea to have these automated, like you call somebody and you press 2 instead of having someone say hello.
A human.
I know people are like, I don't even know how to say, what is that, a phone? You can actually talk to people through that? Like,
Yeah.
people don't realize that. It really did happen way back in the day. So, but I remember there was like, oh, this is so amazing. And now somebody gets in, they're like, press 2, press 4, press 7, just talk to, and you don't ever talk to anybody. And that whole communication, now everybody's frustrated because you have no one to talk to. So we want to talk. We want to be excited. And
Can I say something about the press 2 thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
I was on the phone for
I
30
knew you
minutes
were going for it. I just knew
with
it.
Centerpoint Energy. And they
Oh,
trick
call
you.
them out right now.
They trick
Okay?
you.
They say press 1 for English.
how many just
And
do
they say-
the 0 every time? 0. It doesn't matter what it
Well,
is.
yeah,
they
well,
just
sometimes,
zero, zero, zero.
sometimes it doesn't go. But what they do is they say press 1 for such and such, and you think they're going to say for such and such, press 2. No.
No.
They say for such and such, press 1. For such and such, and you're like, okay, I'm press 2. Press 4. They fool you.
Oh,
So
it
you
tricks
already
you.
hit 2
Yeah.
before you had a chance
Now
to
you're
hear it.
lost in
Now
some
you're
loop.
talking to somebody in India.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who doesn't know?
Well, I heard that you need to
Yes.
always go for the Spanish. Even I don't speak
But you
Spanish,
can call me dumb.
but they say always push that one because you'll talk to somebody faster than you will somebody else.
Really?
Good
Yeah.
point.
Why do you think that is?
Well, we speak
I don't
Spanish
speak a lick of
very
Spanish.
quickly.
Like
It goes out really fast.
I don't speak a lick of Spanish, so I mean I know like
That's what they mean.
basic
but
words.
they're
like
gonna.
taco
They know
and-
English.
Yes, I know the
Burrito.
important words. Right, the
Yeah.
important words. All right, so let's say hello to some folks on the feed here. Let's see what they've had to say.
Why is it my mother watching, though?
I don't know. Why has she abandoned you in your
What's up,
moment of
William?
need?
Shout out to William Lloyd.
Yes, William
brother.
Lloyd. William Lloyd was on, I want to say, the 9th edition, maybe the 10th edition of the artist edition of the show.
Yeah.
And still, to date, my favorite show that we've ever done. I've done 37 episodes. This
I
is the
wasn't on it,
38th
Yeah,
episode
me either.
here. And I don't even host. I don't even host the artist
I'm a
edition of
little
the show.
confused right now.
And it was just such a great show. It was everything that I hoped for in the goal of the show. And fantastic show. So William, heck of a fun guy. We had such a good time on the show. And I was just sitting behind that. I didn't have anything to do. I was
And
just.
shout out to him
Yeah.
and his wife and their business Nectar. I'm probably going to go visit them actually after the show.
Oh, cool.
I have work to do, and they have Nitro Coffee or something like that.
Nitro coffee.
I'm going to go check it out.
I like the sound of nitro coffee.
Sounds pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Give me a half a glass.
Yeah.
It's robot
Can you
coffee.
add it to
Nitro.
Can you add it to your car?
Ashley Bradley, thank you for joining the show. Ashley is a regular watcher and a fantastic Googler on the show. She frequently will post stats when we ask for them. She's up in Illinois. Roger, my friend, thanks for tuning in, brother. Wine from Chile is very good. Yes,
Toni
it is, sir.
hot 10.
Mike Stolte, Tony is hot. A 10.
She's a solid 9. I mean, but come on. Let's not push it. Let's not push it. I mean,
Oh my word.
and that's because
Joe!
I've had some wine, too.
Joe, put the shovel down.
All right, sorry.
Step away from the shovel, Joe.
All right, sorry.
Hey, we're not going to go with
right.
numbers right now.
Alex behind the scenes. Alex Alvarez. First of all, I want to get a shout out. Alex, you need to pin a comment for Alex for his company behind the scenes here. Alex Alvarez is with, and tell me again the production. Become, is that the name of the production company?
Absolutely. Like, become John Malkovich.
Yes, become
Nice.
become Alex Production Company, and he volunteers to help out with the show behind the scenes. He also participates in the exorbitant pay package of as much wine as he can drink. So anyway, mad props to him and his production company. They just came on and started working with us. I couldn't thank them enough for the great job they do. If you guys need any kind of video work or anything along that lines, he's phenomenal. Couldn't recommend him enough. So shout out to them. Francis, thanks for tuning in. Crystal LaField, tuning in again. Good to see you, girl. Love you tuning in. Gail, thanks for tuning in. Raquel, oh my gosh, I don't know if you've ever tuned in before. Good to see you on the feed.
It's Rackle.
Rackle. It's Raquel. Gosh.
Hell, that's a hot.
Flaherty.
Sorry, did I say that? I don't even know you. I'm so sorry.
Flaherty.
That's hot.
Ashley Bradley says, machines have been replacing things since forever. How dare you use a tractor when there's a perfectly good plow horse kind of thing. Creating AI robots takes skills and programmers, so maybe it'll promote jobs in technology and AI development.
We're stealing these jobs from perfect horses.
I will toss
Joe.
out, Ashley, I will toss out for consideration before we move along here. What happens when machines program machines and machines maintain machines? Because we already have both of those. What happens when, this has already happened, when machines have been programmed to communicate with each other, AI machines, and they develop their own language as shorthand because the language we gave them to talk to each other was inefficient. And we don't know what the hell they're saying, and we have to unplug them. That has also happened.
That's
So-
happened to me when I've gone to
So,
Harwin.
it's going to happen.
Can't hear what the heck they're saying over there on
So,
59 and Hillside.
something to think about. Something to think about. Eric Ashworth, thanks for tuning in. Randall, thanks for tuning in.
May I?
Bob, yes, absolutely. Bobby Beasley,
Oh,
thanks for
man,
tuning in.
you beat me to it.
Melissa Meeks, thanks for tuning in. John West, thanks for tuning in. Scott.
Put up the whole thing.
Wow.
Here you go.
Hey, we have to make the box run.
No,
we left
Joe,
the box.
I'm one step ahead of
Oh,
you right
there we
now.
go. All right.
But,
That's not Chilean, obviously.
That's
Right, that's not
some
Chilean.
serious
That's
privilege
very
you got going on there.
He's executing his wine privilege.
This is dealing with little Joe privilege.
Oh.
You mean like that's less than 77%.
All right.
Okay, so
Scott, thanks for tuning in. Facebook user, I'm back, Joe. Facebook user.
He's got you blocked.
Wow, that is.
You probably blocked him.
I don't know. That's
Is that
interesting.
the
Facebook
girl
user.
that did show up last time?
I don't know. Maybe. Jeff Emerson, thanks for tuning in. Ken, thanks for tuning in. Donald,
Little Joe,
thanks for tuning
so I'll call
in.
you
Kelly,
out. Just
Kelly
saying.
tuned in.
What's up, Kelly?
Kelly is one of my regular dialogue persons. Love this gal, and we also disagree on all sorts of stuff. She's super cool, and I like her a lot. Mike, thanks for tuning in. Samantha says, no Alex today? Boo! Samantha, Alex is behind the scenes running the show.
Who's
so
Samantha?
he's making it happen. I think that's Alex's significant other.
That's
Oh,
right,
really?
a little lady.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, damn.
Oh. Is
Scott.
that you in the pajamas?
Scott says, excited to see Toni on the show. Do you know Scott?
I do not.
Wow, he's just excited to see you.
Excited?
There are many people who share your sentiments, Scott.
Nobody said that about me.
Margarita,
Yeah,
thank you for
that's
tuning in. Margaret,
I'm a
Margaret,
9.5.
Margarita, thank you for tuning in. She is a regular on the show, and
Pretty
she's
name.
also contributed and donated to the show. Love her so much. Mike Marshall says, "Oh my gosh, two of my neighbors on the show."
Who are they?
Mike Marshall. Mike Marshall.
Oh, you live next to each other.
William Lloyd. William Lloyd said, I saw a cool prediction from Bill Clinton that he predicted a 3-day work week thanks to AI. The thought of a 3-day work week should excite everyone a little. Yeah, as long as bills are paid, right? Nobody has a problem with a 3-day work
I can
week.
barely do my work in 5 days.
Well, you can't believe anything Bill Clinton
3
says,
days
that's
out.
for sure. So
3 days.
let's not go down that route.
Ed Hamilton, thank you for tuning
I'm
in.
gonna be wasted by the time this show is
Don't go
over.
down that route. That's for sure.
Walter West is giving you a shout out. You know Walter West? He says, Tony!
Oh.
I
Tisha
thought you were
Cook!
talking to me.
Tisha Cook, what's going on? Walter Bacon says, you
Where
need
is my
bacon.
mother?
I always need bacon.
She's
I don't
my
even know what
only
that's
fan.
about, but I love the idea. Shameless plug, audience, do not see
I eat a lot of
downsizing.
bacon.
He says, shameless plug, audience edition, do not go see downsizing. Oh.
New movie with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yes, Matt Damon. So Scott blasted that movie. We were going to go see it, actually, me and my wife, and he totally blasted it. We talked about it. He said it was terrible. Then I went to Rotten Tomatoes, and Rotten Tomatoes says it's terrible as well. Like
Movie date.
the audience review was
movie
like
date.
horrible, like 29%.
Now, I know very little about the movie's
Yeah.
premise, but Matt Damon, he's
It
probably...
looked interesting.
You would think I would love Matt Damon because I go to Harvard, whatever, and so we play... whatever. He and Ben did a great job with Good Will Hunting, but this movie... I don't know. Ever since his comments to
What's
a woman
the
of color,
I don't even know the premise of the movie. What is
I don't
it?
either. I don't know.
It's the world's overpopulated, and we have the technology now to shrink people down, and like based on shrinking you down,
Is that what happened to you, Joe?
No.
Oh.
Based on shrinking you down, like your $50,000 worth of savings you had is actually more like $1.5 million. And you could have like a 6,000 square foot home and all this stuff because your resources that you need are much smaller. And so that's
Because you're little.
Oh, look, not literally shrinking.
That's
no,
like-
literally
makes
shrinking
you
you down.
trans-financial.
You're like Forrest Gump.
Trans-financial.
Exactly.
I'm trans-financial, by the way.
I identify as someone far wealthier than I am.
I'm trans-financial. So
my mom's old school way of saying it was, you have a champagne appetite and a beer belly pocket.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think I have seen a preview
What
of the movie. Now that I'm
financial
thinking about
sector do you relate
so they got physically smaller.
Yeah, they got physically smaller.
Wasn't that plot already done by Honey, I Shrunk the Kid?
Way a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Ken Griffin asked, Ken, you said what's the subject today? Ken, we are talking about, and it should be pinned. If it's not pinned,
We've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff.
We'll get it pinned. We have been like rabbit trailing all over the place.
All over.
We are talking about, my contentious way of saying it was from sex dolls or sex robots to McDonald's automated checkout and ordering. Will machines replace us? Will AI eventually overtake all jobs and there's just no need for humans to do those jobs anymore? And then what, if that's the case? Right? So chime in with your thoughts on that, Ken. Ken is a very sharp guy, good friend of mine I've known for many years. He's up in New York, up your way. And super sharp guy in Bitcoin. So if you ever want to know anything about Bitcoins, that's the guy. He knows everything about Bitcoin.
Good to know.
So Crystal says, hey, thank you. Yeah, we'll give her a shout out. Ashley, what happens when machines program machines? Well, then we get iRobot and the world is doomed. Yes, well, that may happen. That's what's on the radar. We should talk about that. Josh Bellin, hey, thanks for tuning in, man. This guy's a really sharp SEO guy, by the way. Ed Camp, thanks for tuning in. He's been on the show a bunch of times. And Kelly's making fun of our box wine already. Kelly, we've already plowed through the bottle of wine. It's gone.
We didn't plow through it. No one plowed through it.
Hey.
Little in La Familia, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
It wasn't
I'll go back to the joke. Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó? The box is what pasó. What had pasó was
What happened was.
the box of wine before the show.
Yes.
What happened was.
We're going to drink all of the box wine. We're going to drink all of this wine. Bottle of wine for
We're
everybody.
actually really intelligent.
Robert Greenleaf, thanks for tuning in.
couldn't tell.
Veronica, thanks for tuning in. Ken said, who brought the box wine? That could be dangerous.
That's me.
HEB.
Gwen Riley, thanks for tuning in. Ashley Bradley says, I identify as someone who is way wealthier than I am. You are trans-financial. That is our new word for it right there. We came up with that today.
Yes.
Trans-financial.
Just saying.
That just sounded like every Craigslist ad looking for a date ever.
Say what?
Oh, that's a high five, Ashley. That's a virtual. That's a virtual high five.
Was
Oh
that
my
directed
gosh.
towards me?
That's your
I think
that's
so.
your Tinder
Yes.
profile.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Little Joe and I'm trans-financial.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good luck to
I gotta
you.
do that.
Good luck to you.
I
You
relate to
figure it
that
out.
comment. I do.
Figure it
Ken
out,
said
then
computers
you
will
missed the beat.
definitely replace repetitive action jobs. This will free up people to pursue opportunities in creative services. If you are not learning skills to stay relevant, that's a very it's interesting. We need to address that comment as we come back around. All right. Ken, they haven't even gotten to the topic of and the bottle is gone.
Well, thanks to my buddy Noah over here.
Says somebody who's gotten me drunk on wine before.
There we go.
Who's using
This is Kelly. Yeah.
his privilege.
Patrick Villarreal, thanks for tuning in, brother. Robert Swindle joined. Thanks. Ken says, don't worry, sending some Mad Dog your way. Terry Bryan.
Wow.
Terry Bryan is one of my constitutional friends. He is in the Constitution Party. Good friend of mine. I love his comments. He's hardcore Constitution. If you want to argue for big government, he is not the guy to get into a conversation with. So you and him would get along so wonderfully.
Actually, hey, remember, Joe, I'm a former libertarian.
Okay.
Turned.
He is
Hillary supporter.
Constitution
No.
Party.
Oh, sorry.
You know,
Constitution
I'm
Party.
going to hold that for later.
Okay.
I'm going to hold that for later.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a
we
former
may get into
libertarian.
politics.
Anyway,
we may get into politics.
We'll see.
Bring it out later.
He said, not going to deal with the machine unless that's the only alternative. Sad reality.
Okay, so
Like, seriously?
we're going to get back
Yeah.
to the topic now. Let's
Wait,
get back to the
yeah,
topic.
and
You're
didn't-
first.
Wait, but did he mention
What
earlier?
year were you born? Because machines have been
Generational.
around for a long time.
A long time.
But didn't you talk about someone actually being in love?
Yes.
That's an emotion.
With
Yeah,
machine?
so-
Being in love with the machine.
So
Like,
thank you for saying
how
that. I
do
forgot.
they
We were
reciprocate
discussing
that
this.
emotion?
We were discussing this before the show, and this is a very relevant topic or very, very relevant point to today's show. In Japan, this has become very prevalent in Japan. Middle-aged and older businessmen, that sort of thing, successful guys that are making money, are spending a ton of money,
They're beautiful.
tens of thousands of
Those things
dollars
look like human
on these
beings.
very
Who, the guys?
high-end,
No, the robots.
sex robots, and I mean they're highly customized and all. And you
Like
order,
they have like rubber that feels like skin.
yeah,
or,
like real
you
feeling
do the
skin.
whole
And these
dimension.
guys have
Weird
a
science.
relationship with this machine, and they want no one else. They want no other companion. It is their companion, and they showed these guys interacting with the robot and sleeping with the robot and all this kind of stuff, and it was really strange, but yet at the same time, I'm like, there's a whole other conversation to be had here. At what point, like, if AI develops enough that you have a conversation and the conversation evolves and develops like any other conversation would, and in some cases, better, because the machine isn't biased. It is actually just operating a code that's responding to you.
Well,
So you actually may feel more heard and more understood and all that sort of thing. At what point do we acknowledge sentience or give
sentiment, emotion,
all that stuff, right? So I mean, it's a very interesting conversation to me. We're at the cusp of it right now. It's just kind of they've really just kind of started scratching the surface on it, but they already have machines that adapt in conversation and all that sort of thing based on the questions that are asked and all that, and they learn. They learn the conversation. They learn the patterns of what the person is interested in and what they like and all that sort of thing. And the conversation evolves that way. That is already happening right now. Can
I
you
start it
imagine
off?
10
Can I
years,
start
20
it
years
off?
from now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, I want to say that you mentioned that machines, they learn your patterns and this and that.
Yes.
Women like to disagree no matter what, Joe. So if a woman agrees with me 100% of the time, I'm going to know something is up. Something is up, and I don't like it.
You're right. Generally, women don't agree with you.
They, with men in general, Joe, not just me. Okay, so if she's agreeing with me,
Can
on
you
time,
open up the other?
I'm gonna be like,
another Chilean wine.
I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be upset with me right now. And men, we get
Well, then
tired
why are you
of the
saying
nagging and
things
this and that.
would
But
make her upset?
who's upset?
You're saying things that are making
Who's
her
upset?
upset.
Who's her?
Squirrel.
You're saying that the women when they
No,
get
I
upset.
understand. But what I'm saying, I understand. But like you said, you're driving home. You're like, damn, I told her I was gonna be here at 9. It's 9:30. I
Okay,
missed
I'm
dinner.
sorry.
She's gonna get upset
But the
if I get
fact-
home. Oh,
But
honey,
if
I
it's a
understand.
robot,
You're not supposed
it's
to
not
understand.
gonna
You're
get
supposed to be mad at me.
If a robot is programmed to know that you're not going to be home until 10,
No matter what.
and you get home at 11, and the robot goes, "Oh, little Joe, you are late."
Yeah, but
How is it going to impact your life?
It's not. And
Wait,
you
what are we
like
talking-
and you like that
It's
she's
not, and
worried
you like-
about me because all of a
that's
sudden
the
you
point.
realize that somebody actually truly has some type of emotion
robot is
and that
worried about
cares
me?
for you, and it's like, okay,
I'm
I
against
know
the whole
she's
robot
gonna
thing.
I know she's gonna gripe a little bit, and I'm a little bothered by it, but I kind of like that she cares enough to be on my.
A robot
feet
won't give
little
won't give
A mess.
a slip
A poop.
that you are home late.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
You get home, you have a beer, you go to bed.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So robots are like they're not gonna give
They're never
you
gonna
what. That's
produce-
what. That's my
they're
point.
never
Yeah.
gonna- it's never
Sure,
gonna
but
happen.
to go to your point,
Well, thanks to him, it's gone too.
Yeah.
but
Anyway.
to finish your point,
Right.
okay, then you wake up the next.
Yeah. But now,
Thank you.
Joe, you've been hanging around me too much.
Yeah.
But you wake up the next morning, and said robot is just sitting on couch as you make breakfast. Said robot didn't.
No.
care that
If
you
I had a
were
robot,
late.
she'd be making breakfast. That's one. That's top. That's top.
Okay,
that's
I'm
number one
gonna
right
go
there.
I'm gonna-
But hold on, I had a second point,
Okay,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I'll
Okay.
make it real quick.
Okay,
I'll really
okay.
quick with that.
Yeah.
You talk about these guys having these robots and all customized. Joe, now some of us it was longer than others, but I was
Whoa!
I was
What does that
15 once, and
Okay,
your
that's
pillow
right.
can do magic.
Oh!
You don't need a robot for that.
Go.
That's all I have to
For
say.
my former students,
That's
you're
all I have
in
to say.
college
Whoa, cut
now.
it
Your
off.
turn.
Okay.
Yo, rein that one in.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, as a dance teacher,
Act like you don't know what I'm talking
as
about.
a dance teacher, and someone who is right now working on my virtual training, virtual coaching dance series, I sometimes worry about the one-on-one interaction that I had this morning with some of my soloists. I can tell you right now, there will never be a robot on this universe that will replace me, and the rapport that I have with my kids. I was literally in tears. Parents, if you're out there watching, you know, I was in tears today at what I physically saw with my own eyes and was able to process and realize that 6 months of putting my hard-earned investment, my time and my energy into these 6 little girls and how amazing they were. And they saw my reaction and how, like, filled with, like, total emotion they were. I mean, we were all so, like, it was just a great moment today. There's no way a robot's going to replace
There's no
that.
emotion with a
No,
robot.
it's not.
No
So you can
emotion.
be in love with the thing or the whatever it's
That's
doing
not
for
in
you,
love. It's
but
just.
just to look at someone and
What's that?
feel an emotion, that's you can't replace
talk
that.
later.
You can't buy it. You can't drink it.
Kelly
you can't-
feels my pain.
Just saying.
Kelly
Kelly
feels-
knows what's going
Good
on.
luck,
Kelly feels my
robots.
pain.
Try to replace it.
Joe, you're out of line.
She says, Joe, you're out of wine.
Yeah.
Where's the box?
I'm just saying. To all my little dancers
My
out
friends
there.
are looking out for me.
That's not Chile.
That's no more for you.
Replaced.
Hey.
You can give him
And
some
to my
wine.
boyfriend out
Give him
there.
some wine.
No, you've had enough.
Good luck with buying a robot.
We got plenty of wine.
What's a defense mechanism?
I'm just saying.
So listen.
We need to let. Can
Yeah,
we let
Gina.
Gina, I'm
Give,
sorry,
give,
yes,
give me
go.
your glass.
Okay.
Give me
Whoa.
your glass. Give me your
First of
glass.
all, Michael Smith said,
I'm Shane Wayne Noah.
sex robot ain't got nothing on Gena Smith.
Whoa!
Woo!
Hey, where's my boyfriend? Why don't you
Oh my!
That's my husband of 18 years. We're
Aw.
fine. Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Ashley said, well, I've
Your
got...
wife is an amazing.
I've never met you,
human
but
being.
I like you already.
So go ahead.
Okay, so here's my question to everybody. We have these sex robots that these men pay an enormous amount of money, which I think is completely irrelevant,
Right.
because any man who wants exactly what he wants,
They're overpriced, yeah.
they're going
We're
to pay
assuming
an
it's all
enorm-
men.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
It is
yeah,
predominantly
it is,
men,
no matter-
yeah.
It is. But
But
here's
yeah.
the thing. When
But
does
yeah.
it stop? Like, what about a family who just wants a child, and they're going to do anything they can do to have this baby, and then they have a when does it stop? You know, that's what
That's
the
something
thing that
I've always
concerns
said.
me.
With anything that's evolved, I'm always like, where do we draw the line
Where
here?
does the draw? Because
Yeah.
I understand that, but then because people want what they want, and if they have money, they're going to figure out.
What about these
they want.
self-driving
So-
cars
No,
that
I
they
think we have to
I
crash?
get what you're
Happy
saying. Like, if
medium.
you have the money, like, you can do evil things with it.
Oh yeah, you
Buy
can
an
do good and
island
evil.
and
If you
do
have that
wild
much
things on it.
money, why not look for at least a real? I mean, there's tons of women
it's-
out there
and I think
that
it's
will.
because it's a sacrifice. I mean, there's.
I mean,
when
let's
you
be
have a
honest. There are
personal
tons. If they see you,
relationship, it's gonna
you
take
know,
give or
not, I'm
take.
not saying.
I
I'm
think,
not
what, I
saying
think,
you
what,
or
I think
anything.
what
I'm
little
not saying
Joe
that.
is saying is that if you
What
have a
I-
bunch of money, you can just find.
You have a lot of
women
you have a lot of
to
resources.
do what you want her to
Opportunity.
do.
I know if you.
You have
And you know
more
what?
opportunity.
Look at Melania Trump. However much money
She's beautiful, by the way.
she is, okay,
Yeah.
but
And her
however-
husband's a badass. Yeah, he's great. Making America great again.
sure,
Yeah,
sure, little
Yeah.
Joe.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
So Melania Trump is
Uh-huh.
in the position that, yeah, her husband has all this money and she got into this relationship for whatever reason. They have children together.
Right.
Whatever.
Not
Right.
because she
But-
was a robot.
Okay, hold on. We're getting. Hold on.
Yeah, let Noah finish. Let Noah finish.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, she got into this relationship. She expected for her husband to at least be kind to her, be a human being to her.
Maybe she liked his hair.
Sure, just for men works for some of us, you know. But
Right.
Works great for me.
lovely.
He brought the comb over.
They
to
say
a
it's
new level.
99%
Yeah,
effective.
comb over.
He's the 1% that wasn't.
Oh God!
I'm not just a
Don't
member,
put a stylist on the panel.
but I'm the president.
Members only. Yeah, I'm with members only. Members only.
Oh.
Okay,
Anyway,
reel it in. Reel
Go
it
ahead.
in.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I got carried
Reel
away.
it
I'm
in.
sorry.
Reel it in.
So, go ahead.
Well, my point being that she's talking about her husband, her relationship. You're talking about your
Women.
life and whatnot. Men have the power to do lovely things for women, but women are the ones who eventually say, you need to respect what I'm about, what I'm doing, and if not, you can leave.
Right. Which is what most women tell me. So I'm very familiar with
That's
that.
a whole nother show.
Which
Yeah.
that's a whole other
That's-
show.
that's
We need
the
to make a
little
show.
show.
We need to make a show.
Those of you
The Joe
watching
Show.
that know me probably
He
know
needs his
the
own show.
rest
Yeah,
of
you
the
really
essay.
do.
I'll leave
We
it
need to
alone.
wonder why I'm okay with getting first dates, but I have a very bad return rate, man.
I
really do.
I wonder why that is, Joe. Why is that?
I don't know.
You know, because
I just met Little
you
Joe.
know
I
why?
realize that.
And
You know why he brings a
Yeah,
shovel?
he called me at 9.5. This is
Hey,
the
that's
last-
very generous,
this is
by
the
the way.
last time we're
That's
sitting
very
next to each other,
generous.
you know what I'm saying?
And that's because you did your hair today.
Joe!
Sorry.
Oh my God, dude!
I
Really?
said-
Remember?
I did do my
Sorry,
hair,
you're
but-
right. Yeah, sorry.
She,
Sorry.
she looks
Wow.
smashing, and
She
Joe
does
knows
look
it.
It's all
Sorry.
good. It's all good.
Joe knows it.
Can
Sorry,
I take your
slipped out.
wine?
It slipped out.
Have it.
Wait, we have more wine. We have more wine over here.
Do I look worried?
Do we really? Because this is
I was
why we
kidding. I'm
do
sorry.
this.
Look, Eric. No.
I think
Here,
you were
we
just
got
being
wine.
rationed.
Yes. Yes. Joe.
We're
was-
already out of the black box.
Joe was sanctioning you. Look, see, plenty
Really?
wine.
Okay.
No, we need to
What
start
was our second
charge
topic?
you a higher tax rate, man. No, the government's
Trying
gonna
to secure
take
the focus
30% of that.
Okay,
What was
let's
our
see.
second topic?
So listen.
Oh, I already bailed you out earlier.
Ashley Bradley said, fun addition to this topic, maybe. They're talking about how in X many years you'll be able to download your consciousness onto the internet and become a conscious machine.
I hope
Scary, dude.
I wonder what the world would do. I wonder
not. I
what
can tell you.
that would do to the world.
We would
Yeah.
explode.
Can
So,
I answer? Can I answer the
We'd
so
explode.
give me a. We'll
Sure.
chime in and then I'll turn to you.
No, we
So-
need to hear Gena more because she hasn't talked enough.
I think you
You've
just
only
like
talked
Gena.
77% of the time.
I'm
pointing
good.
You need to talk
I'm
more.
good.
I
No.
do like her. She's
There's
a nice
there's
lady.
there's a great book.
nice lady.
There's a
She
great
is
book.
10.
Hey! Reel it in here, y'all two.
Sorry.
Reel it in here, y'all two.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
There's
now
a-
you're screwing up now. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just gonna go ahead.
no,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, go ahead, Joe.
Okay.
Sorry, producer. I promise I'm
Tech
not.
support. Tech support. Tech support. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Get where's the bouncer?
Take
Security.
No.
I don't think I've ever had a guest thrown out, but we could try.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay.
And who
All
would it
right.
be?
More wine. He's making up. He gave me more wine.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Go ahead.
There's a book by Michio Keiko, astrophysicist. Huh? I've had like 17 glasses of wine, so
That was as close as we
that's
could
as
get.
good as I'm gonna get right now.
Theoretical physicist.
Yes, experimental.
Whoa.
Put your hat
Theoretical
on
physics.
right.
Yes.
Yes.
Then maybe we'll take you seriously.
Brilliant guy, and he has a book called one of many, but one of my favorites called "The Future of the Mind." And this, what she mentions here, what Ashley had just mentioned, downloading our consciousness, basically, was one of the subjects that he talked about, and that the human body. Yeah, somebody's giving him Mr. Red Shirt a hard time about
You're
it.
not sitting next to him.
I thought it was about me until I saw a red shirt. I looked down like, what? I wear a red shirt.
That's awesome.
Sip the wine, not big gulps, Mr. Red Shirt.
Oh god.
If you could feel this, you
John's
John's
would be
profile
golfing.
picture looks like he could be a politician. He looks like creepy Uncle Joe Biden.
No, don't say that.
Hey,
John is a nice
John.
guy.
He
John
has-
is a
I
nice
said he
guy.
looks
He has
like. I
sweet
didn't say he
taste in
was.
cars.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, he's got
That's
a great,
like
yeah,
Joe- that's
great
like
taste in
Joe.
cars. So anyway, yeah, so
Sorry.
this is one of the topics that Michio
explored Machu Picchu, however the heck it's pronounced. Anyway, and the basic premise was that the human body is very conducive to interaction with electronics. We are basically an electrical machine. That's how our whole body communicates. And our brain is no different. It is just a series of electronic firings. And they're mapping consciousness right now. They've literally made a machine, and it's like if you can imagine the very, very early games that came out, Atari and that sort of thing. If you translate
80s
that,
kids love that.
right? I had the 2600. I was there.
Hell yeah! High five.
Right?
I
Original.
begged for that.
Original back in the day.
I was
think
born
I'm
a
the
lot
oldest
later
on
than
the
that.
So,
I doubt it.
if you can remember, I mean, if you think everybody knows
Youngest. I
Pong.
meant youngest.
Everybody knows Pong. Everybody remembers Pong, right? Just the white lines around the
Yep.
screen, little back and forth blip ball, right? Think of the graphics level of that, and now compare it to the games that we have now, right?
Yeah.
That evolution is just unbelievable. Well, similarly, we are in the Pong stages of mapping consciousness, right?
Really?
So they have literally recorded someone dreaming at night and then translated that into a visual image.
They've done that?
That
Yes,
gives me
they've done that.
anxiety.
They've
Well,
done
you
that.
don't want to see my dreams, Joe.
Right?
That's for sure.
There's a
And so they are mapping consciousness
That
to the
makes
point
me
that
nervous.
eventually machines will be able to track the neurons that are firing and translate that into language, translate
Probably
that
gonna dream
into.
about this
I think
tonight.
we're going to get
consciousness.
into religion.
All right,
and
now
our
I
own
want to know
conscious
more.
private
I want to know
will
more
and-
about how that was done and whether that's scientifically sound, because it doesn't seem.
Right? Like it can't be
Legit.
done, right?
Got you.
Huh?
For
Now-
once,
now
we
I-
agree.
Yeah,
All right.
it's,
I mean,
So,
probably
it's just
some kind of
mapping
neurotic
neurons.
Tech
pattern,
support.
but
Here's the
not
actual
that-
support.
Hold up.
Tech
so
support.
production. Tech support is an awful word. Stop.
Like t- t-
Production
They're a
assistant.
very important part
Production
of the,
assistant people
Producer too.
are
Off-camera clinking.
important.
this
some
off-camera
people
clink
in this
brought
room
to you by.
No. I think that again, like, say what you said again.
well, I've
He
said a lot
doesn't
of
remember.
things.
No, he totally doesn't remember.
Breakfast taco.
What the hell does that mean? Is that
Oh, that was great.
is that an inside joke?
No, it was just like rabbit.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, it's one of those.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Squirrel. Repeat what you said earlier.
Yes.
You
Okay.
doesn't know either.
No, I do. I talked about tracking the conscious mind. We are in the Pong phases of tracking consciousness.
that. It
We
made you
are,
nervous.
and it's done by specifically mapping individual neurons. The problem is just
Neurotic
like
patterns.
with graphics, where our present technology allows us to. We're at Pong stage,
Yeah.
but we require 3D, World of Warcraft level graphics, and there's a world of difference between that. There's 30 years, 40 years of technology in between those 2 points. And so right now we're tracking maybe 2 million neurons when there's 100 billion neurons.
So they're,
And so-
they're tipping the iceberg. They're
Right,
They're
just
tiny.
scratching the surface.
We're looking
of
at the world in like look at the world as a Rubik's cube, and we are just one square at the bottom,
right,
right down here.
Yeah.
That's all we are.
And it's all mixed up.
Everything else is whatever, and it gets mixed up, but we're still that corner part of it. Okay, so to go back to what you were saying, not to get wild or crazy, but tell me again what you just said.
About
That
making
is
you
scary?
nervous. Yes. And it makes you nervous?
Probably what I said. I don't remember half the things I say, Joe. I'm sorry.
I don't remember
Well,
what he said either.
we're also drinking.
Yeah.
No, like-
So there's been-
I understand
the show starts an
anxiety
hour
and
before
but
the show
do they
starts, just so you
actually
guys know.
process
Oh,
the
that you
entire
don't want to
thought?
see what the heck I'm
What
dreaming
other
about.
people are
Because that would
thinking
scare
about.
the hell out of you, Joe. That's for sure. Because I've had some dreams with you.
Oh God! Wow!
Wow. Wait, just wait
Here's
there.
my thing.
Okay.
I'll have to
Here's
up
my
my
thing.
And
Here's
I'm
my-
as straight
therapist
as, I'm
pay.
as straight as an arrow,
So
Joe.
why can't we keep the word personal as personal? Like why I feel very like it's intrusive for you to hear or see or in some way process what I'm thinking.
Well, I would imagine you wouldn't subject yourself to it if you didn't want to. I mean, that's really what it boils
what
down
you're
to.
saying is
So, in
that
other
it
words,
is-
let me imagine this. So, at 80 years old,
I'll say this much.
you're on your deathbed, and science gives you the option. Well, ma'am, if you would like, for this fee, you can download your consciousness, and that will be uploaded into this
They made a
robot
movie like
form.
that. Vanilla Sky.
And the robot form can
Kinda.
look just like you at whatever age. You give us the X number of pictures and movies and whatever else, and it'll be formed to look exactly like you are. And you can live like that for the next 200 years on that battery, and you'll need an upgrade at that point.
I wouldn't want
whatever.
that. I'd want to die and not deal with the world of
Well, I'm going to
people
throw
having
It could
sex with
theoretically,
robots.
it could
Shout out to my friend
theoretically go there.
Nicole because that's how she feels. She's very existential about things.
I need to
and
die. I need to go
some
away.
people do not want to live forever. Some people want to go, hey, there is a finite existence here,
Sure.
and that's why I do the things that I do. And when it's shut off, it's shut off.
That's me.
That's why you should live
Exactly.
every
That's
That's
why
legit
we should
me.
live every day as if
to the
it is
fullest.
what it is.
I believe in an afterlife. I have no desire to stay here for an extended period of
No,
time.
me neither.
So when I'm done, I'm done, and I'm cool with that. I live every day trying to
Be the best that
be
you
the
can
best
be.
version of me I can, to pour into my kids and my family as much as I can, beyond them, then the society around me, try to make the world a better place.
I get
when
that.
I'm done, I'm
Well,
done.
this is the
I'm
best
cool.
you're gonna
I'm
get.
cool.
Well, I was named after
So-
a person who lived to be 600 years old before the flood happened.
Yeah.
So Noah
You're
was
Noah.
600 years old before blah happened, and he was the last person literally on Earth that listened to whatever silly whatever was told to him. No offense.
or her.
Some taken.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm playing with you. I'm playing.
We're not gonna go.
It's all
To
good.
the, we're
It's
not
all
gonna,
good. It's all
we're
good.
not gonna get into the religious
Yeah,
conversation
it's
right
all
now.
good. It's all good. I'm
But
playing.
actually, I was thinking about this the other night. I don't think that anybody on this stage besides Joe knows I'm transgender.
Hi, Kelly.
Yes, we know.
Oh, did you know?
He knows you from the page.
Okay. So I'm trans. I was when I was born.
I'm also
the
trans.
doctor. Shut the fuck up.
Transfinancial.
Oh,
I thought we established this.
Hi, Kelly. Can I just shout out to you? Thank you.
He's making a serious point. Let him make a serious point.
This is why I'm
Sorry.
drinking.
I'm
This
sorry.
is
I'm
so-
sorry. I crossed the line.
Right
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
When I was born, doctor slapped my ass. Excuse me for the A word. And told my parents, "This is a girl." And
We
I'm
need an
like,
sign.
38 years later, going, "That's not true."
You're
Anyway,
Well, if anything, I'm more surprised that you're 38.
Hey,
Should
you
I
look
just-
good for your age.
should I
baby.
just
we're
shut
gonna
up?
use those age crap.
Should I just shut up?
Well, okay.
Work. I'm sorry. Was that an
I
eight?
just-
Was that
compliment.
I think there was a compliment in there.
That was a compliment. Thanks.
I'm just gonna shut up now.
Yes. Just remain silent
Okay,
for the
go
rest
ahead.
of the show, Joe.
Continue.
Wow. Go back to what you were saying. So we were talking about. Say it again.
Mapping the mind.
Mapping the mind.
Thank you.
Tracking
Producer.
consciousness.
All of that stuff. So I was born a certain person, gender, whatever. Moving on. This is so silly.
I'm not saying that. I'm
Hey,
quiet now.
hey. We need the little sign across the mouth, like this little X.
I'm done. Please. I really do apologize. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's all good, man.
I love his.
So being a
His
trans
banter.
guy, like I have a certain perspective on life and how people like perceive, other beings or whatever. I want to go back to what you were saying right before this. We were talking about. Go back to what you're saying.
Mapping the mind.
So mapping consciousness, and at some point, will technology have the ability to download our consciousness into a robotic, form where our consciousness could exist and look and function like a human being?
Right. So looking at something like that, it's like, humans are people who are humans are a species who are able to, adapt and change as things come and go. The fact that I just outed myself to the whole world, hi, I'm transgender. How did that impact the way that all of my, humans around me felt?
Sure.
It literally, like, look at this world right now, online. It just changed the mood of the entire room. All I said was that when I was born, a doctor slapped me and told my parents, it's a girl, and they're like, yay, and I'm like 38 years later going, nope, that's not the case. Something as simple as that changed the vibe of this room.
Well, it was
I
serious.
think the
'cause
thing
we're
that-
giving you
Now,
validation.
I think the
'cause-
thing
And I
that
appreciate
love
that.
that.
And I
would
appreciate
love
that.
to give you that
Thank you.
platform.
And thank you. Now, would a robot
No.
take that long?
No, they say right off.
Now we had a moment. We had a moment.
Yeah, we did.
Had a moment.
I felt it.
That's awesome. But a robot,
No,
literally, a robot who is literally just a functional beep boop beep.
Yeah, process.
Thing.
That.
Okay, whatever.
I
Whatever you say, whatever you say you are, cool. Moving on.
Yeah, it's
There's
kind
no
of
feeling, there's no
existence
whatever.
At that point, it'd rather exist.
Excuse
than-
me.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Sorry, I liked it. It's good.
I love
It's a great point.
Which is
Yeah,
the
so
premise of the whole
for those-
show about understanding.
For those
people.
who were online here and may have not quite heard the comment from production,
Tech support, Joe.
it's
No,
not tech support. It's
producer
production.
two.
Production.
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 That is the technical role. They
I
are
call it
performing
tech
the
support.
role.
Because
of
I told
Alex,
them.
you're amazing.
They are the producers of the show. That is.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead,
That's
Joe.
the official role.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Give him a name badge then.
He was basically saying that. Now I'd totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Damn it. I screwed
No,
everything
just
up.
understanding people. It's the premise of this whole show is giving people a platform to agree to disagree or to
shit.
accept people as they are at face value. Can a robot acknowledge or recognize face
The interesting
value?
thing is this.
That's-
In your premise, the interesting thing is this. All right. And Terry Bryan said
You need all of it. You need all of it. You need
She
all
got
of it.
enough. She got
I
enough.
cannot wait
need
to see
all
his
of it.
consciousness.
he said,
You know what I mean?
dude in the red is transgender. No way. Shocking.
Shocking.
Right. So
Some of us pass, some of
He's
us
a box
don't, and
shaker.
it doesn't
Box
matter.
shaker.
yeah.
That doesn't
Well, you
matter.
pass as a wine hogger. That's for sure.
You're not
I don't
gonna
care
get
what
that
you
far.
are.
Only
You're
when
a wine
I'm
hogger.
only when I'm around you.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah.
He didn't.
If you were here,
No
you
one
drink
didn't
a lot
drink
of
before
wine.
today.
Hey, this is Christmas time.
Hey,
This is Christmas time.
no one didn't even drink before today. This is so weird.
He's on holiday.
It's his first.
Holiday.
It's his first glass of wine.
We're on a
dear
holiday.
Okay, I want to throw a wrench in everything.
Please,
Good.
Please
Please
do.
I have to. Okay,
Please.
so we're talking about robots. That's like the topic.
Yes.
Going back to
And
that.
I want to say, if I have a sick friend or family member that needs a very strategic surgery, they have these amazing robots that does that. But you don't have the robot, and I want that because they're going to be better
And meticulous.
and more meticulous, and they know it better.
Very
and
true.
There's no emotion involved.
They're not
it's
shaking.
no. They're not.
Oh, that's
you know.
true.
There's no
all
fear
that.
of loss
There's
of
no
life.
fear- no,
Like
there's
I'm just
none
going
of
to
that.
execute the job at hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't want the robot to roll down the hallway and go, all right, your friend does just fine. I mean, I need the doctor to come in and
Or
tell me that.
say goodbye because your friend's leaving us in
Yeah.
about an hour.
Yeah.
Bye.
So,
Damn,
I mean,
that's true. I
it's
didn't- I
like
never
two,
thought about it
it's
like
a
that.
two-way street. You know, it's like this is a
The
really
bedside
great
manner.
Here's the thing
but
though.
you still want that, but yeah, that
Here's
bedside
the
manner.
thing
Right.
is that
That can never be replaced.
what
No.
we're talking about, and I'm playing devil's advocate with a lot of stuff, but it's to make people think. If you go watch like a movie like Blade Runner, this is like forever ago. At the end of the day, the machines are indistinguishable from humans.
Yeah.
AI already, I mean, like in games and all this sort of thing, is predictive in nature. It's just algorithms, right? And so,
Well, Blade Runner is based on Philip K. Dick's novel. You know.
yeah, I'm with you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say I'm with you. Go ahead.
no,
I
no,
I'm saying.
Yeah. So my point is
Yeah.
is that while machines may be mechanical in how they approximate human behavior, even now it's already touching on aspects of I can't tell the difference between the human behavior, right? And so my point is that, and that's you have to realize not even it was 1903 that we were figuring out how to fly.
Oh, half the world didn't believe us for multiple
Right?
years.
Right. Like, I mean, that was just gliding, right? It really wasn't
Yeah.
till
Production.
30, 40
Pull
years
up
later.
a chair, tech support.
Right?
Yeah, let's
So,
go,
so
Alex.
my point is that we went along for tens and hundreds of thousands of years in humanity, you know, with this being the bell curve. I mean, it's like, you know, you're like this. And then we hit the last 100 years, and it's like this. Right? And so what will 40 years look like from now? Again, think of how long it's been since Pong. Right? That's our lifetime. Look at video games now with virtual reality. You put on
What's
you're
it
looking
going to be like when
you're-
we're gone?
right. So this is what I'm saying. So in
When you,
40
say, when you say Paul, who do you mean?
Pong.
Okay.
Pong.
Okay.
The
Sorry.
game Pong.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I said
we
Paul,
went
I thought you said Paul Bible. I'm like, whoa, that's another common concept.
Yeah.
A lot
So-
of
Whoa,
evidence.
we're not
So
going there.
Right
we
now.
went from Pong, right, 40 years ago to now where we are, virtually real, immersive environments where we're looking around and all this kind of stuff. That's 40 years. So if we take that same level of progression of AI and machines being able to communicate with us 40 years from now, a machine may, just like your surgery example, may be doing it better. Right? I mean, let's face it. There's humans that just aren't good at conversation, right? And
I'm very good at conversation.
why does everybody look at Joe? Why
A little.
Oh, Michael
Right?
Smith wanted to.
I have something to say about that, Joe. Can I say one quick little thing?
Sure.
I'm very quick about my things.
Apparently,
About
he
all
has
things.
ladies.
Toya Miller said hi to you.
I'm very
Hey.
yeah, very early.
Joe is known for being very quick.
Wow. Wow, it's getting late.
Whoa!
Sorry, Joe. Sorry.
It's getting late.
Joe,
I
It was too easy. It was too easy. I'm
It's
sorry.
true, but it
No,
hurt. It's true, but you gotta tell everybody.
Which is a whole nother show.
That's a whole other show. We're gonna have the Joe, the Wine No Wine Joe edition.
Show.
Little Joe.
Okay, well, okay,
Amelia.
here it goes.
Amelia right here.
Can y'all just
Amelia
go ahead and
right
bring
here.
in the other case? 'Cause
Okay, so
Yeah.
We'll take a wine sponsorship. I'm just
Yes,
throwing
I
that
need
out.
a wine sponsor.
who tagged my mother?
Hey, that sounded inappropriate.
Probably your dad.
Oh my gosh!
You said who tagged your mother.
Oh!
Probably your dad.
Wow. Okay, the show just entered the R-rated.
Sorry.
So you were
I'll
saying-
keep it
section of this
clean. I'm
You were
getting
saying,
asked
Joe.
back.
I think I blushed. I was like,
You said keep it PG. I
wow.
did.
Okay,
PG-13.
Yeah.
okay.
Because
Well,
of the
anyway,
topic.
my point being is that we're talking about robots and
Mhm.
you know this and that.
Mhm.
I still stay with the nothing will ever replace human
Human
interaction.
I
human
want to
contact.
believe that myself.
So
I do.
I believe it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this might be.
Oh, here we go.
Can you now you're sounding like my mother.
I have a theory behind what you're saying.
Go ahead. No,
Well,
finish.
I'm
Go ahead.
gonna
Finish.
say- what I'm
Finish the
gonna
point.
say
Finish the
is
point.
that
And Gena respond.
I'm not very into this. This might ruffle your feathers here.
Oh.
I'm not really into I'm not
Being
like
progressive?
No, I'm not big time like religious type of guy, but I do believe that we come from God,
Mhm.
Okay.
Jesus
A higher
Christ,
Okay.
being.
this and all that.
Uh-huh.
I think so I believe
I mean,
that
shoot.
I
Go ahead,
believe
finish.
I believe that there is never going to be anything that is more complex than what he created.
I
That's
agree.
all I have to say.
Amen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, look.
Oh my
Go
God,
ahead.
I love
I will
that.
respond to that by saying, look, I look at my own body.
Okay.
My own body is an amazing machine.
That's your opinion.
Yes.
Your body.
Hey,
Quit!
Sorry.
No!
no, I'm
damn
on
it.
your train, baby.
I'm
on
sorry.
your
I'm
train.
sorry, dude. All right, you need
He
to.
was
I need to.
supposed
I know.
Do y'all understand why I'm thinking so much right
Now
now?
you know why we're out of wine.
Sorry.
Now you know why we're out of wine right now. We
Go
filled
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
box.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I need to end the show so we can
No,
get to
no,
the
no.
bottle.
Go ahead. Go
Duct
ahead.
tape, duct tape.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I understand what you were saying.
Okay.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
That I believe that he created something that is more complex than anything that we ourselves can create.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
I love that.
Here's my thing.
I love that.
Looking at life as human versus robot. Okay. You and I have these amazing bodies. I used to look at human bodies as the perfect machine, which a lot of people look at it that way. Whether you're atheist or super religious, whatever, you look at our bodies and go, wow, the human machine is amazing. All of us on this stage, background, can go, look at our arms, our legs, our fucking, excuse my F.
You gotta bring it out. You gotta bring it out.
We almost made it an entire
We
show.
almost made it. The shame.
This F-bomb is brought to you by Noah
First F for
Toledo.
2018 right here by Noah.
Yes.
First F-bomb.
I didn't make it past the first darn show of the year.
So anyway, so we're
What I'm saying is, Okay, so humans are amazing. Our bodies are amazing. We acknowledge that, right?
Okay.
Long story short, what I feel is that no matter what we're made of, internally, there is an aspect to us that brings us together. The reason why we're sitting here drinking wine and talking about whatever we're talking about, and these production guys are
And having a
enjoying their
fabulous time,
lives
by the way.
and really enjoying their show, is the fact that there is a connection
There's
here.
a dynamic.
There's a
right?
dynamic. There's something here. Could a robot produce this?
No, they
No.
couldn't. No.
You know, now that's
No, they couldn't.
Now that's an interesting argument. I actually
It's
really
beautiful.
kind of
I
like
love
that
it.
argument because actually we are, again, this goes back to being electrical beings. That we all produce a magnetic field,
And we gravitate to that
right?
energy.
And so there's actually a magnetic
I'm
interaction
gravitating
between.
to some tacos right now, for sure.
There's an actual magnetic field and an actual interaction of the magnetic fields amongst human beings. And there's a different variable that machines would have to try to approximate in their algorithms. That's an interesting argument.
I have one.
Okay.
Real quick. Can I say this? I have read a lot as far as religion is concerned. You and I have had this discussion. I'm a former Baptist.
I was a part of it, by the way. I just
He was just observing.
behind the scenes.
There was so many people just observing.
I'm a giant
You know how many people
Catholic.
had
My mother
messaged me in
has
that
a degree in
conversation?
theology
Okay.
and Catholicism.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
Let's do this.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's my thing. I consider myself in all a philosopher, a bit of a Taoist, but also someone who is open to a lot of things. The reason I say that is that I think that if they're we have this discussion going on right now about robots and this automated stuff that robots can do, and we as humans can create. We as humans can create computers and robots and things to do other things that we cannot do on our own, or they can do on their own. Sorry, robots can create and do a lot of things that we can't at the
More
same
efficiently?
More
output.
efficiently.
But
and
Is efficiently.
But humans, you're saying
This is
we
why we're
as
drinking.
humans, we are the source of that creation.
We are the source of we're the source of the creation of the thing. So we program these robots to do what we want them to do. End of the day, when the robots do what we want them to do, cool, they will plow the sow and whatever, and at
Pick
this.
the cotton.
That's racist, by the way, Joe.
Oh,
That's
that's
very
so-
racist of you. That's very racist.
Anyway,
These robots will,
Why you have to say that, though?
stop it, dude.
Why can't-
These robots, okay, look, hypothetical situation. It's about to happen. Give me that.
I didn't do
It's about to happen. We can program these robots to do whatever the fuck we want them to do.
Oh my.
However,
That's the first.
That is a first.
second of 2018.
Someone
however,
embrace the F-bomb.
Yes.
I embrace it.
Okay.
However,
F-bomb a
Okay,
lot,
let-
sir.
let-
as humans,
let him finish.
I believe in humans so much that I think that if we do what we do like we do in this show, get to know each other better, and get to a point where we're like, okay, let's make this world better than it was before we were here. We will get to a place where we're like, okay, let's do this, that, make things better, make you have more
Understanding.
understanding,
Or-
have you have more people.
That is actually. Listen.
No,
Listen.
Have you? I'm not sure.
Look, there's
Have
a
you
comment.
More F-bombs? I don't know.
There's a
You
comment.
can have more F-bombs if you want.
There's
We're
a
not
comment.
sure about Little Joe,
There's a
but
comment.
There's a
Yeah.
comment on the
Yeah.
screen. There's a comment on the screen that Ashley Bradley said, and which actually kind of ties into what you're saying. She said, and so it makes me wonder if AI is still in the early stages to the topic of the show at hand, or whatever. AI will be able to eventually not only create robots that can do jobs human can, but if human consciousness was downloadable, would robots eventually create humans to do their jobs? So
Just like I say, Joe, I
This
believe
is kind
that
of
we
like
are-
touching on what
Joe,
you were getting at.
Joe, I believe that. Okay, that's great. I actually like that type of the thought because I like to think about it as a fantasy type of thing.
That's somebody's PhD philosophy thesis.
But it still goes back
feel
to
you.
it still goes back to I believe that we are all created by God and
he
we
gave us
are
the brain
never
to
going to
create.
be we're never going to be that way. I mean, it's just
Well,
it is.
No,
what it is.
at the end of the day, you two are whether you're accepting the premise.
We become more complex.
Whether you're accepting his premise or not about creation, you're both saying the same things at the end of the day.
Here's my thing. I don't need to believe in God to know that I believe in people.
Yeah. Okay.
My personal belief, robots are a creation of
Human
us.
knowledge.
There would be no robot in this world right now if it were not for...
Can I ask a
if it
question?
were- hold on. There would be... Agree with me here. There would be no robot in existence right now if it were not for human thought and human
Absolutely.
intelligence.
There's
And
something-
all of us going, well, here's my knowledge, here's my knowledge. Okay, let's...
There has to be a more
Okay.
supreme
course.
being. There
But
has
can
to
I
be
ask a
something
question,
that puts
though?
that knowledge in your
Let me
head.
ask
Here's
a
my
question
thing.
though.
All right, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, one at a
I
time.
want you to finish
Let me
your thought.
finish.
No,
All right.
One at a time.
Yeah.
I need
Okay.
more wine though, Joe.
Hey.
We all need more wine.
Okay.
Yes,
Go ahead,
everyone
go
is
ahead, go
out.
ahead, go ahead.
But where does that human knowledge that started?
Here's my thing.
No,
Where
no,
did that come
No?
from?
no,
Okay, sorry.
no.
Where did that come from?
Tony, I'll tell you this. And
I'm
Joe
really,
know this.
I want to know.
And I wanted to bring you in. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Here's my
Oh.
thing. I'll tell you this,
There's not
Tony.
much left.
I used to be a Baptist.
Sure.
I used to be one of those like believe in this or you're going to hell kind of people.
I can tell you this. I've never been a Baptist.
Okay.
But that's okay. But that's
Let me
okay.
finish. Let me
Just so
finish.
people that are watching
let-
this
okay,
don't
let him
know.
finish. Let him finish.
Let me finish. Long story short, I used to be so into this idea that I used to walk around malls with my friends and go, let's convert people. Like, this is our thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're so into this idea. So hardcore. Ugh.
Yeah.
10 years later, I was like, maybe we weren't entirely right. Hold on. Let's change our ideas. Which is why I think that Joe started this show to begin with.
Which I love.
The fact that we can change our ideas.
They're on to me.
Spread them out.
Like, I went from...
But can I ask a question?
I went...
No.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Hold on, little
He
Joe.
cannot. He
We're gonna
cannot.
wrap up with this
Yeah,
thought.
hurry up.
Let's
We're gonna
wrap up with this
up.
thought.
We're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
Long story short, I went from hardcore Baptist
Yeah.
to I was a libertarian to, let me now tell the world, part of the reason I was so conservative is because I don't want people to know that
I'm not so conservative.
That you were feeling something complex.
I'm transgender. I was born, hey, it's a girl. Nope, just kidding. It's not. I'm a guy. And I went through that. And now I'm like, okay, I was this, that. And now it's like, you can go from being this to, hey, I am this many
Things.
wild things that online. It's like, yeah, I'm, liberal, I'm socialist, I'm a transgender guy, I'm Mexican.
And brilliant.
But end of the day, I love you guys and I've enjoyed this time.
Yes.
Aren't we connected?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
my religion is this right now.
It's people.
Now, there is a philosopher who said that hell is other people. I believe that. But hell is only other people if you choose to keep those people in your life. Heaven
I've also heard philosophers say there is no hell, but LA is getting close.
Heaven is heaven.
California, man.
In my opinion, heaven is
No offense
the
to all
good
my
people
LA
you
friends.
choose to have in your life. So
Cheers.
Here.
No.
Hey, you left.
Awesome.
And I left as soon as I could.
Right. Prove my point.
I used to have a hat that said, I wasn't
you,
born in
everyone.
Texas, but I got here as quick as I could.
That's right. 'Cause
And-
this is like heaven.
Little
Heaven
girl.
is going through all of this and
Okay.
still having this guy in your life.
So we're going to do 30-second final points.
Let's do it.
30
30-second final
Let's start
points.
that in with Gena.
We're going to start with Gena, because Gena, I really like you, which is why I didn't mess with you the whole night.
Gina's a 10.
Just sweet.
You're still about to 10. And
Okay,
we're going to
final
start with
points.
you. Final
Go.
points. And we need to have you again because you have big eyes. I
Oh,
like
well,
it.
thanks.
They're nice. Yeah.
Do
All right.
tell.
Go ahead.
I don't know what to say.
30 seconds.
Next.
You have 30
come
seconds.
on.
Final point.
30
The
seconds.
final
Oh my
point.
God,
Final point.
seriously,
Will
that's
Final
it.
points.
Will machines replace humanity?
I don't know. Here's what I'm thinking about because I know that you're a lot younger than I am, and so
Just
I
a
know,
little.
I know that you said
She's
you
32,
can't see
you're
it.
29,
You
right.
can't see it, and I'm like, I think you can't see it because I have already seen it.
Oh, God,
So
son
I
of a
could
mother.
see,
No offense.
possibly. And do I agree with it? I don't think it's right, but I could see it happening, and it's
Gina?
that's where I'm at.
You are VIP tonight.
Oh, dang, delicious.
Really.
Wow.
You really are.
Right, no.
I think little Joe has a turn
right.
Gina, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry you didn't make the cut.
Okay.
I'm just so hidden right now. When
I think-
the camera goes off.
Number one,
maybe
I
a
think
little
all of you
Joe.
guys are amazing,
Thank you.
and thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate that because
Anytime
you and
you
I
wanna be
have
on.
had some issues on.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
That's beautiful, though. It's
been good.
Lovely. Lovely.
We adamantly disagree on stuff, and yet we can still be friends. What a novel idea! It's
amazing.
almost like it's the purpose of the
But
show.
you don't identify as friends.
No, they
Yes, of course I
Oh,
do.
you do? Okay.
Yeah.
They're
ahead.
friends on Facebook.
Go ahead.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No,
That's-
sorry.
We are friends.
Yeah,
That's
go ahead,
friendship.
go ahead.
That's
Go
real
ahead.
friendship.
um,
Facebook friendship.
Yeah, right.
Final thoughts.
Okay, sorry.
Let's go. You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds and go.
And go.
You know
Hurry
this
up,
is
hurry
going
up,
on
hurry
your
up, hurry
You
up.
have
Facebook,
to answer
Instagram.
the question.
No, yeah,
Take it
yeah.
up. Here goes.
All right,
Will machines replace men?
Let's go.
Final thoughts. Will machines replace humans? Never. If machines were to entirely replace humans, the world as it is would probably be better. Not gonna lie, but they never will. Humans are the reason that we have the things that we have right now as far as advancement in medical field, as far as advancement in the fact that we can still eat and survive, the fact that we are still alive on this planet. Humans are amazing, and I do not ever want to give away from people that believe in, religious stuff or whatever, but I believe that humanity is divine. The fact that we are still on this planet and alive is divine in and of itself, and the way that we will continue to be who we are is for people to continue to be good.
All right. All right, so I'm going to give my take because I haven't said my position all night, which is unusual. All right. So, my daughter's agreeing behind
Start
the
the
scenes.
timer.
Yeah.
You know,
Go ahead.
give it
I-
20
go ahead.
seconds.
We knew this.
I can
was gonna be a bad
actually
combo.
do this in under 30 seconds. All right, so I will submit that the very opening chapter of Scripture says, "Let us create man in our own image," right? And that was God's statement. I will submit that man making machines to think for itself and to replicate its own thinking and everything else is doing the exact same thing, which is doing what was in the image of its creator. Man is just doing exactly what it was designed to do, which was mimic the creator. Bam. 30 seconds on the freaking
Bam.
nose.
Wow.
It's almost like I'm a professional.
Okay.
Here you go.
So my opinion is same as Joe. Is in my opinion, we are all created by God, whether you believe it or not. That's fine, but that's my opinion. So it's never gonna get to that point where we create something that
It's going to look close
destroys
to me.
it.
It's going to look close.
We are too complex for this.
I agree.
We are too complex.
I
for
do
it.
agree.
So, and besides, I mean, I've tried download the Make a Sandwich app, and it's a terrible mess. Like only women.
Oh, no, Joe! Put the shovel down! Put the shovel down, Joe!
Oh my God!
Step away from the shovel, Joe!
30 seconds.
I was almost.
Really? Can I get a second to compose myself?
Oh.
Joe just has a
really
one-on-one personal relationship with the shovel. He does not know when to put the shovel down and step away from the shovel.
Joe. And actually, I've done better. Than
You were
other
a
shows.
little better this show than in the past. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
9.
9.5. Give me a 5. Give me a 9.5.
9.5.
9.5.
Because you did your hair today.
Hey.
Which, by the way, Kelly said she thought you were hilarious and loved your hair.
Yes.
did.
Hello, Kelly, wherever you're at.
Don't recommend. I printed all new ones because of you.
Right now? We're reading now? Or can I
screwed
do
it
my
up.
final
Yeah,
thought?
you were like
you
rolling
said
them up like
final.
maniacs.
Here are my final thoughts.
Okay, here, final thoughts.
Here are my final thoughts. Thank you, Joe, very much for having me on this incredible show. I met some extraordinary people. Steve, you're in our thoughts and our prayers.
Yes.
Who I got to
Yes.
replace today.
Yes.
So if you follow
Yes.
the show, you know.
I forgot about Steve,
And we're
yes.
praying for you. I think it's extraordinary that as human beings we can come together and have a conversation and disagree and still be very good friends, which I love
Absolutely.
the premise of this show. So I just want to, I'm a Christian, but I do believe that robots make us more efficient, but they will definitely never replace us.
Never.
Right on. Guys, we thank you for tuning in. Today's wine, the Kunza wine, the Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon.
Kunza.
Right? From Chile. Fantastic wine. We're going to rate this wine right now. Each guest is going to give a rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being terrible. And I will post a picture of this wine along with the rating on our Instagram page tomorrow morning. So be sure to subscribe to the Wine No Wine Show on Instagram. If you just do a search for Wine No Wine, you will find us. Make sure you subscribe. I'll have a picture and a rating of the wine.
Let's start
Crank
with
up the music,
Start with Gena.
and I am going to
Rate
start
the
with
wine.
Gena.
All
Gena,
right, I gave it a 4.
a 4.
One of the reasons why I gave it a 4 is because I only had a little bit of it before it was boxed in with the boxed wine, so
Right,
it was hard
right,
to tell.
right,
Thank you.
right.
That is an inherent problem with the show. We drink the bottle and then we spend the entire hour after that
Yes.
slamming down the box
No, but
wine.
mine was actually half of the regular, and then he poured the box wine on top
Oh,
of
no!
it. Yes.
I give it a 4. I'm a big fan of red wine in general, Chilean, Argentinian, being a Mexican American Latino. Hell yeah! I love me some Latino wines, but this one actually,
It was good.
it was especially good. It was the kind of wine that like created bold flavor, but not too bold. You didn't have to have
Only one that has wine.
you didn't have to have food with it.
Right.
You just have the wine itself and talk to some friends about some stuff.
Some stuff.
I tell you what, I've had this wine twice now, and I love this wine. I love this one. It's one of my favorite reds. For me, it's super smooth, and I could drink it by itself. I don't, some wines you really want to pair it with a meal. For me, this is a red that you can drink by itself and really enjoy it. It would be great with a steak. I could easily see it going with food like that. Just a hint of fruitiness. If you're not like it's not sweet. It's not a sweet wine, but it's leaning towards the sweeter side.
But it's not dry.
And it's not dry. It's not dry. If you're not into the sweet flavor, just a hint. It's not sweet. Don't get me wrong. But if you're not into that fruity flavor, you won't like it so much. But for me, it's a 5. I love this wine. I love this wine. It's one of my favorites. Go ahead. You can hate it. You can say 1. I don't care. It's okay.
I'm not gonna say 1, Joe.
That's okay.
All right,
Say whatever you want.
I like this wine because I got 1 glass of it before old homie over here took it away from us. So to be honest with you,
Oh my god.
To be honest with you, I can't imagine drinking it with steak because I don't even eat steak, Joe.
Yeah.
So I was gonna give it a 1, Joe, but out of respect, I'm gonna give it a 2. And and that's only because I averaged out.
Dialogue
You better
here.
document
I got
that.
your 9, baby.
You better document
She
that.
got it. She got it.
All right,
No.
Maybe you'll understand why I drank so much of the wine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Tony.
I love red wine actually, but I'm a Shiraz super dry girl, and Joe is right on point. There was a little hint of sweet for me. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it needs to be decanted for a little bit longer than it was, and maybe take a little bit of the sweetness away. But I definitely tasted the black currant, a lot of black currant, like a spicy. I'm not in love with that, so for me it was a 3.
Right on. Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you for another great
All right, we're gonna
episode
drink some more. Let's go.
of the Wine No Wine
We
Show.
outta here.
We will see you next week.
He's out of here.
We'll see you next week, Friday, 5 o'clock.
All right.